Welcome back, guys, to part 2 of my career series. In this part, we'll be racing in Australia in Albert Park, and hopefully, we'll be able to get points like last race. We'll be looking to put on an upgrade here onto the car, but we might be just short of the amount of points we need. Yeah, we're 2 points short for one of the aerodynamic upgrades. We're just short on one of the chassis upgrades, and same with durability. So we're going to have to wait a little longer for that. Floor stiffening stay, it should come on, and it will come on to the car. As Gasly's done a gearbox improvement as well. But now we should have enough to upgrade one of the car parts, as we're going to do the beam wing onto the car. That will be on for China. As now we fast forward into the race.
And a warm welcome, everybody. We're here in the heart of Melbourne. It's Albert Park, and it's qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix.
Seems to be a wet race, or wet qualifying here in Albert Park. Our home race. We'll go straight into qualifying. This qualifying seems to be a bit wet, so we're going to have to hope for a pretty good lap here, or somewhat decent, so we can get through to the next qualifying session. As we go on to the final corner, onto the straight, the main straight, and we start the lap. Yellow flag out, someone must be going slow. As we knock the wall, not a good thing, but we just have a tap to the wall, which will slow us down slightly. Charles Leclerc goes with a 132, so we're going to be hoping for somewhere around there. Probably not the same, because Charles Leclerc is in a much faster car in a Ferrari, so we're going to have to hope for something good to happen if we're going to make that. It's a bit wet, so it's not exactly grippy. Lando Norris does a 129.5, so maybe looking at Charles Leclerc's time might be a possibility with how fast Lando's going.
I'm afraid we've been pushed down to P16.
So we come up to the final corners, hoping for a good couple corners here. Out of the final corner we go onto the main straight. And we do a 129.9. It's not as fast as our teammate, but it is close. As now we're in P8, behind our teammate who's in P7. As we go on to our final lap, the track has cleared up a little bit, so it's going to be a bit quicker. So we're going to have to perform a good lap here, otherwise we will be out of qualifying. Onto the straight we go, in to do our final lap of qualifying. Into the first corner we come out with a few tenths extra onto our time, so that's good, or not onto our time, but minusing on the time. We're up by a second. Good start to the lap. We knock the wall very hard, so that's going to be a lot of time lost, which might not, well, it's not going to benefit us, as we're now back to only having 4 tenths on our time. That's going to make it hard for us to get through to Q2 if we're hitting the wall like that.
and that's just 30 seconds left in the session.
So we're up by almost 2 seconds going into the final corner. Onto the straight we go. We're going up further and further. Alonso's done a 127.3 and we've done a 128.1. So not as fast as our teammate, but it should be enough. As everyone's boxing, everyone's going in, so they're not doing new laps. So we're going to be through to Q2, which is very lucky, as everyone could have easily improved by a lot, as everyone's peeling into the pits. As we let our teammate go past ahead of us. And that's it. Pierre Gasly tops the timing session, and we come out P5. Ricardo, Magnussen, Albon, Russell, and Sargent all out. Russell being a shock, he's gone out in Q1. Charles Leclerc surviving by the skin of his teeth, and so is Sergio Perez. So we go into Q2. Onto our first lap in Q2. DRS open as we go fast down the straight.
Okay, we've been pushed down to P13.
Into the final couple of corners we go. A little bit of grass touched on the right there. Into the final straight we go, a 120.0. We're going faster than Gasly, which is good. So we're 9th out of the 15 drivers. Gasly in 11th. We're going to hope that we both improve on this last lap. So we try to give Gasly a tow here on this final lap to hopefully keep him up in the grid. We may have let him get too close though, as he might be able to overtake us on the straight. Thankfully he doesn't, because the AI shouldn't be doing that, but they could. We're up by 2/10 already. Up by 4/10 now, with 1 minute remaining on the time. Not that it matters though. On to the final straight, we go up by 2nd and a 10th. Gasly right behind us, and we go P3 and 4. As now we're going to go down the grid as everyone else improves their lap. Max Verstappen with a 1:17.4. We're into P8 and 9, now 9 and 10th. And 10th and 11th, so Gasly's out in Q2 by not much at all to us. And everyone's crossed the line, so we've secured P10. Gasly signs Zhou Guanyu, Nico Hulkenberg, and Valtteri Bottas all out of the session. Into Q3 we go. Tsunoda with a 1:19, and now Leclerc with a 1:18.6. We go into our second lap. First lap was not the best lap as we're down by a 2nd and 4/10. So we need to gain a lot of time out of this lap. A lot, and might be too much to ask though. So anything from here is good for us. Anything will do, as we're already further than we expected to be in Q3. Our first Q3 appearance in F1. So we gained 2/10 going out of that turn. Into the final couple of turns, we're up by 1 second. It's not quite going to be enough though, as we're just going to fall out of being able to gain a position in Q3, and we'll be starting in 10th position on the grid.
Goodbye for now then, but really
with
we're
pole.
just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Lando with pole, Verstappen P2, and Fernando with P3, as we have 10th behind Tsunoda. Hamilton in P8.
You can hear the Australian fans roaring as they line the track here in Albert Park. Welcome to Melbourne, and the roar from the crowd can only mean one thing. It's race day. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. It's a combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners, making it a very tricky track when it comes to overtaking. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Stroll, Leclerc, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Daniel, Gasly, Sainz, Joe, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Albon, Russell, and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And alongside me, bringing glamour and expertise to our commentary today, Naomi Schiff. I don't want to, but we should look at their recent performances, and I think poor is a universal word to describe them. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, every driver certainly has their own way of preparing themselves before a race, but I can tell you that pre-race rituals are a real thing. When I was in go-karting, I used to touch every wheel in a specific sequence before I got into the kart. And then I stepped up to cars and had a specific set of fireproof base layers just for race day. So watch the drivers when they're on the grid. Some may be sitting on the floor and isolating, others may be up to other things that they do. But these little things really help their minds get ready for the race.
So we're going to be looking for a one-stop strategy, either hard mediums or medium hards. Most likely medium hards. So everyone on the grid seems to be doing medium hards, so we might switch it up and do hard mediums. Yeah, we're going to go with hard mediums.
The formation lap gets underway, and every driver will be looking to settle in for the race ahead, making sure that their car is ready for the battle once the lights go out. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
Norris and Verstappen on the front row of the grid as we line up in P10, with Gasly right next to us in P11. Five red lights, lights out, and away we go. Or away we don't, as we have a poor start. Or held back at the start by not releasing the clutch. but we go back up the inside, we get tangled in a collision by either Albon or Sainz there. As Bottas and Ricciardo go too wide into the corner, as we look to go around the outside of Ricciardo, and we do. Take a bit of the gravel out there. Not the best line to be taking in this track. As we go down the inside of Bottas on the straight. Are we able to hold him to the position? Yes, we are. Up into P13. Or P12.
Okay, DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second.
Piastri seems to be ahead in the race. Maybe he'll be able to get rid of the Australian Grand Prix curse of no Australians making it onto the podium in ages.
Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place.
So we're now ahead of Zhou Guanyu and Bottas, both the Saubers, with Gasly in P10 and myself in P11. Tsunoda up ahead in P9, who's just not quite out of DRS range from Gasly. We're trailing Gasly, just staying behind him at the moment, trying to keep in DRS range. Hopefully he's able to tow us ahead and maybe tow us to Tsunoda. So we got Zhou behind us, who's decently far behind us, 8/10 behind us. So it's not in a range where he could overtake us.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 5/10 a lap.
Take a little bit of grass out of that turn. Gasly's lost DRS range on Tsunoda now, as Tsunoda's 2 seconds ahead of us, 1.4 seconds ahead of Gasly. So now we get out of the corner quite fast, or faster than Gasly. Almost enough for us to overtake him, but we don't need to overtake him as he's our teammate. We just need to make sure the team gets points, so we're not going to risk a collision. As we have Zhou behind us, creeping up closer and closer. Within a second, and now 4 tenths.
Okay, you're within 1 second of the car ahead. Get ready.
As he goes up on the inside, there's Zhou. And we're able to keep him behind us, as now Gasly is 8 tenths ahead of us.
Okay, mate, engine's running too hot. Engine is running too hot. Let's keep it a bit cooler for now, please.
Oh, we creep up on Gasly here, slow down just to keep behind him. We're out of DRS range on Zhou, except he might just have gone DRS on the last straight.
Battery charge is high. Let's use that overtake button a bit more.
Into the final quarter, on to the straight we go. 5 tenths from Gasly, as we have DRS on him.
The car behind is dropping back by about 3 tenths a lap. Well done.
So we creep closer and closer up to Gasly, just trying to keep Zhou and Bottas behind us so we can get that point. And now we just slow down a little bit, get off the pedal, and into the corner we go. Just have to avoid our engine staying above 130.9 degrees for the 10 seconds per lap. We've got 1 lap left to go on that quote. Into the first turn we go. We're creeping up behind Gasly, closing up. We have DRS on Gasly. Should get us very close to being right behind him. We're just able to keep Zhou and Bottas behind us. As Tsunoda's getting further and further away from us on the track.
Okay, nice work. Really good job
We
with that
completed
target,
the
mate.
target of keeping ourselves under 133.9 degrees on our engine. as we creep up closer to Gasly. We've got DRS on him on the straight. We're edging closer and closer. And we're just able to keep Zhou and Bottas behind us. There's a yellow flag on track. Someone's gone off. Someone seems to have an engine issue by the looks of things, and Lance Stroll is out of the session. So that means we could both get points here at the Australian GP.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done.
The tyres are right now at 24% on the front left at the max, and 12% on the front right, which is the lowest. We've got some decent tyres at the moment. They're not too warm, so that's a good thing to see. Should be able to continue our strategy as we plan. We're able to stably keep Zhou and Bottas at bay and keep Gasly going ahead of us. Zhou's appearing behind us, seems to be going around the outside into the full fast turn. We're able to keep him behind us. As now there's a bit of a train appearing with Zhou, Bottas and some others behind. as the gap to Sonoda is now going to 10 seconds ahead of us, as now some people will be peeling into the pits to pit for the new tyres, as we've gone deep into the corner. Wasn't actually meaning to go for that position, but we ended up doing so, and didn't take the position off Gasly. As Peugeot looks around the outside there, going into the fast right-left, or left-right.
Okay, mate, Pierre ahead. Right, here we go. Let's look to get past quickly.
The game wants us to overtake Gasly here before lap 18. We're not really looking to overtake him, so don't know what I should do about that one. I guess we're almost doomed to fail it unless we decide to take team orders into control.
Okay, be careful. We think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
As we go around the outside of Gasly, looking to overtake him. We
Nice
complete
work,
the
you
goal
smashed
for
it.
a second,
Really good job on hitting that target, mate.
and now we seem to be getting traction ahead of him. Except we go on the outside into the corner and Gasly retakes his position back. As Verstappen and Hamilton are peeling into the pits, and so is our teammate.
Pierre is in for his stop now.
He'll be going onto the hard tyres
We're approaching the pit window.
as
You're
we're
gonna be on
appearing
mediums.
ahead of Verstappen and just behind Norris.
The pit box is currently full. Stay out on track. Stay out. Pitting this lap then. Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Well, our teammate seems to be out of the race. Pierre Gasly's done. So the fight for points might be over for him, but it's still a chance for
The car
us.
ahead of you's just fitted the hard tyres. Car ahead now on the hard compound.
All that teamwork for nothing in the end, as now Gasly's out of the race.
Pierre is out of the race.
As Mark just now tells us that he's out of the race. As we got a line of cars ahead of us, a train going on, as we just clip the wall. Gasly just off from the right as we go deep into the corner, almost
Okay, let's try and
hitting the
overtake
rear
them
end
now.
of Verstappen.
Green flag.
We're just losing touch of Verstappen and that Coa hit. As now we're falling, well, back to Alonso, except Alonso and Leclerc seem to be fighting each other. So we go to peel into the pits. We go a little bit wide and we have to go around for one more lap. We just gone a bit too wide there in the pits. Luckily it's not a penalty,
Push now, we're
because it
boxing
could have
this
easily
lap.
been a penalty for crossing the white line. Because now we're battling Leclerc. We got 43% now on the front left, and the least worn tyre is 21%. It's been pretty good, these tyres, as we were looking to come in last lap so we can go one lap longer in the mediums.
Okay,
Well, now we're pitting in this
and
lap.
remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach.
We're looking for a bit of an undercut onto the tyres. As now we go into the pits. Optimal time for stopping.
Okay, go, go, go. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
We come out behind Ricardo, Sainz and Joe. No Bottas. Bottas seems to be able to get ahead.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy.
Down the inside of Ricardo, a bit of contact to Sainz. And we hold the position on Ricardo.
Okay, good work. Great pass.
And around the outside of Sainz we go. We gain a position now into P11. With Bottas and Albon ahead. We'll lock up on Albon. we go deep into the corner, very deep, so you have to give the positions back. We got a warning for a collision with Albon, and now we're in the same position as we were before, just nearly crashing into Albon and Bottas. We go onto the grass a little bit there, as Sainz is able to gain position back on us. A little bit of contact with Sainz then, as Bottas and Albon go too wide into the corner, and Albon's able to gain the position on Bottas. And Sainz going around the outside on Bottas into turn 1, as we have Ricciardo up the inside of us into turn 1.
Okay, mate, your lap times are all over the place right now. We've got to have consistency. Come on, we can do better than this. No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
There's Sainz and Albon looking to fight each other there. Sainz had to back out. We look to go around the outside of Sainz, not quite, don't have the pace on him. Sainz and Albon fighting into turn 1, and Albon comes up on top and we take the next position from Sainz. We took advantage of Sainz there as he was fighting Albon. We were able to come out on top in that, and now we're in the points with 1 point to our name. Sainz looking to go around the outside, and he doesn't, as we keep the position in P10. We've got to achieve an average lap time of 1:23.0 to complete our objective. And we've got 2 more laps to do that, as we look to go around the outside of Albon, but can't. As Sainz goes around the outside of both me and Albon into the left-right. Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the race, seeming to be pretty quick here. Now we're out of the points in P11. We've got to look to get around the outside of Albon or through the inside. We might have a chance here going into turn 1. It's down the straight we go. We're not using the overtake.
We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
We post a 1:22.6, which is faster than the average lap time that we need to have by the end of this lap. A bit of grass they're taking, and a bit of gravel on the other side too. As around the outside goes Bottas on us, we look to go on the inside. May have cut the corner a little bit there, but it's all allowed by the stewards as we keep P11. We trail behind Albon with Sainz ahead. Sainz seems to be getting far away as he seems to be almost out of DRS.
Nice work.
And Bottas is 8 tenths behind us as we compete in the achievement of getting an average lap time of 1:23. Our front left seems to be on 32%, as our least worn tyres 16%. We've got 4 laps left, so our tyres should be fine and we should be able to get to the end pretty easily. As we go around the outside of Albon, not enough room though for us to find the spot, so we just stick behind Albon. we look around the outside of Albon, looking for the gap, but we can't find it, as we trail Albon into the left right. And Bottas is looking for a spot to take us behind. We're getting held up massively by Albon, so we really got to push for the position.
Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember, we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres.
Albon locks up. We get the free position. Now we're into 10th place with 1 point on the cards with a chance. We dip our tyres into the gravel a little bit there. Not the best for us, but we're far enough ahead of Bottas that we should be able to hold on to the position. Sainz is now 3 seconds ahead, so he's well and truly clear. In the game, we'll see whether he's thinking about going to another team or stay at Ferrari. Like in real life, he's looking for either going to Alpine, Sauber or Williams. And maybe he might be in this game, so who knows.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 2.9 seconds.
As now Bottas is out DRS range, so that's good for us. It'll keep us away from him, and that should be able to keep us into the P10, as the Albon and Bottas are fighting each other for the position.
Okay, mate, this is the final lap of the race. Final lap.
Final lap left, and there's 1.6 seconds to Albon
Car
behind
behind
us.
started to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it.
%51 in the front left tyre. It's clearly enough for us to get through this lap. As now we're 1.8 seconds up on Albon, which is a good margin for us to have. As Oscar Piastri wins the Grand Prix and ends the Australian curse of not having an Australian driver on the podium, as Oscar Piastri goes straight to win it. As Bottas and Albon are fighting for 11th position, which clears us and makes it so we're going to be able to get 1 point here. A point in both races for us. As we cross the line for the checkered flag, we come home in
That's the end of the
P10.
race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Albon gets driver of the day.
Oscar Piastri, take a bow. What a performance, what a win.
And you could really tell today just how much of a factor the home race advantage was. Not only did they have the energy from the crowd, but they also knew every millimeter of this track. That's what the home race advantage means.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
It's a P1-2 for the McLaren, with Verstappen finishing off the podium. 2 DNFs of Gasly and Stroll. Gasly now with 2 DNFs in both races, and we come home with a point. We now have 2 points on the board, as Verstappen, Norris and Piastri lead the drivers' standings. And we got Albon down in P12. We got McLaren and Red Bull leading the constructors. McLaren ahead at the moment. Experience, racecraft, awareness and pace all goes up, as well as focus. As recognition stays the same and some specialists going up. Not changing level though. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like the video, and if you want to see more racing content, then be sure to be subscribed for the next video. We just start off our next episode with a secret meeting with a team that we won't know of until next episode. Thank you and bye.